friendly game of I'm more revolutionary than thou. Our intervention will give them a cause over which to unite, when it is in our interest to deepen the breach between them.
But wouldn't we lose credibility throughout the world if we give up as you propose? Wouldn't this be an irreparable blow, George?
A worse blow, Mr. President, would be that the mightiest power in the world is unable to defeat one of the most backward.
With the 71 battalions with Westy's plan, this war is winnable. I say we go in and we get the job done.
But can we get the job done? What if they put their stack in? What makes you think if we put in the numbers you're suggesting that Ho Chi Minh won't match us man for man?
This means greater bodies of men, Mr. President, which will allow us to cream them, their firepower against ours.
Why does anyone think that they will accommodate us by fighting our kind of war? Their tactics are terror and sniping. They have better access to intelligence.
Why is this?
It's because the South Vietnamese government is heavily infiltrated with Viet Cong agents, Mr. President.
What other road can we go? Negotiations, stopping the bombing? These make us look weak with cup in hand.
Better to lose now than after committing 200,000 men.
I disagree. We have to make a stand here, and if we fail, it can be chalked up to any number of things. Corruption among Saigon's leaders, for instance. Then we can get out. But this government will have stood up to the communists.
But we won't get out, Bob. We will double our bets and get massacred in the rice paddies.
So what's your advice, George? Cut and run?
Mr. President, no great captain in history ever hesitated to make a tactical withdrawal when conditions were unfavorable to him.
Does anyone else here agree with what George is saying? I've asked Clark Clifford to join us. Clark, do you have any comments at this time?
I have a question for General Wheeler.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, General.
Good morning.
If the President proceeds with his plan, what, in your view, would constitute a victory?
What is the definition of victory in this contest?
Yes.
A military victory in the traditional sense is not what we are seeking. To eliminate every last Viet Cong guerrilla could require as many as 500,000 men in 5 years.
No one's considering those kind of numbers. No one.
Our objective is to reach a stalemate, whereby we are attriting the enemy faster than he can replace his losses. This is the so-called crossover point.
And how many men will this require?
A substantially smaller number, depending on how the North Vietnamese respond.
Well, might they respond by sending in, say, 100,000 troops?
We regard this as unlikely.
Well, this is less than half the men they have under arms.
Well, it's certainly possible. They already have 50,000 men down there.
And to achieve the 10-to-1 superiority, which I understand is barely adequate for conventional forces in a guerrilla situation, how many troops would be required to meet this possible threat?
As I said, this would be unlikely.
1 million troops, is that not correct, General? You see, we would need 1 million men in Vietnam.